Retain.
Okay. Hello. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. Okay, I was recording for the last I was recording for the last few minutes. You missed the intro, everything like that, guys. Um, I forgot that's what you gotta do when you schedule streams. I do apologize for that. Um,
Now, this is what happens when Pat doesn't stream for over a month.
More like 3 months. Yeah. Okay, I'm stupid. You guys missed the intro. I feel really bad about that. Hey, do you guys want me to play the intro again? I can, but
Just go for it. This
no,
is a
let's just do
blooper.
it. I'm not. It's not even that important. It's just a nice thing to have. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna check my Discord real quickly. Yes, everything's good. I know. um. Okay. Okay, Dave. Okay. Who else is here right now in the
You trying to
audience?
say David? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm far, I'm far from David.
What?
I am far from David.
Okay. All right. In all seriousness, no, now that we've figured out how to stream and do all that stuff, let's go ahead and dive right into this whole situation. John's going to be on in a little bit to do some analysis of his own as well. But mainly the situation that we have right now is the whole winter storm situation that I keep posting videos about, and it's going to be impacting the Midwest. It's going to be impacting potentially the Mid-Atlantic down the road. Tony, I know you're under. I know there's areas of New Jersey that's currently under a winter weather advisory. I'm sure some of my friends in DC are going to be under winter storm watches pretty soon if the trends continue. But that's the main thing that we have going on right now. We have winter storm watches from Nebraska all the way to Indiana and Kentucky, and those are most likely going to get expanded as we get more data and more information. But overall, here's the main cliff notes that we have for you so far. Basically, we have this. Basically, we have a winter storm watch in effect for Kansas City, for St. Louis, those areas, and it's going to be very interesting because there's also going to be a very large ice component to this. And I've been watching it. A lot of us here at Storms United have been watching it. RJ, I know he's been watching it quite a bit as well. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to you guys, and if you guys would like to share some stuff about this potential weather event, feel free to and go ahead and do that.
Well, one thing I'm kind of looking at, not even like just the snow, not even the track of it. More so looking at the ridge for tomorrow morning off the the Northeast Pacific. Depending on how amplified that is, how strong that ridge is going to really determine if this is going to be a slower and stronger storm that has a larger precip shield, I believe, on that north end,
Yeah.
versus a quicker and much lesser precip shield on that north end. So that's mainly gonna impact like northern Illinois, especially the Chicago area. That's I know of, and it can affect like up towards like Philly and up to New York City as well, but to a lesser extent, I believe.
All right. All right. Thank you for that. Tony, Daniel, would you like to add some stuff?
It's all
Tony
going to
should go
boil.
first. Yeah.
All right, Tony, go ahead.
It's all going. I'm waiting for the 18Z to finish rendering. I really think it's going to be where the low sets up. I don't know if it's going to be over Oklahoma or if it's going to be over Nebraska. It looks like, or maybe even Arkansas. It just depends on what this low is setting up. There's like 3 different variations right now on where that snowfall accumulation and the ice line is going to be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Yeah, that's the main concern I have with the ice in particular, where it sets up, because that could either impact some rural areas in southern Missouri, Illinois, and Kentucky, or it could impact St. Louis to a much greater extent, for example, or even areas further to the north of that. Which hopefully that's not the case. But yeah, I've been watching it as well. Anything else?
Oh, that's really about it. I mean, as far as ice accumulations that people are wondering about, you're going to hear numbers, but the question is how much is actually going to fall. I did some research, and yes, the weather models take into consideration how much moisture is in the atmosphere for an ice accumulation map. So if it's saying half an inch to an inch of ice, you got to cut that down to a little bit more reasonable amount of like maybe a quarter of an inch or less.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Daniel, what's your take on it?
Well, I'm not nearly as a buff into winter storms as some other things, but I always look at the quote unquote totals. And obviously, you've had your trends over the last few days and some models overperforming on some YouTube channels. You know.
Yeah, we're not going to mention them here.
Well, there's a few, but the the main storm that we're focusing on for the 6th, it's changed a lot. Some models were showing it causing snow, and still a few do for the New England area. Some don't, still show it dipping south. So no snow. For my area, that's abnormal, especially around this time of year. I want my snowstorm. But the setup just in more recent years has been all sorts of wonky. But this is definitely going to be a more central U.S. system pumping into the mid-Atlantic coastline.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that's going to potentially be an area to watch as well, as we've been seeing some of these runs showing D.C., Baltimore, areas in southern Pennsylvania getting hit by the snowstorm. It's, from what I'm seeing and what John has been seeing as well, it's kind of that classic I-70 corridor snowstorm that I know a lot of people tend to not like very much. So ultimately, yeah, that's the situation that we have here. Okay, we got some questions. How much snow do I think Kansas will get? Well, it depends on where you are in Kansas, actually. If you're in eastern Kansas, and we can go ahead and show you some of the model runs that we have for you right here. Here's the Europeans 12Z. Kansas, the European wants Kansas to get absolutely obliterated for much of it. But yeah, same with that's. But it really depends on where you are in Kansas. Do you guys have something to add?
Yeah, I was about to say, what's the NAM saying about Kansas?
NAM, okay. The NAM is a bit. The NAM's the 18Z is a bit more isolated. It has 2 feet of snow hitting eastern Kansas all the way up towards Kansas City, and then the 12Z is a bit more widespread, but not nearly as powerful. So, yeah.
Tony, I have a real honest question, and maybe even for you, Pat. What is the purpose of the NAM? What is the NAM actually good at?
I have no idea. I'm just using that and throwing it in the aggregate. So, GEM RDPS, though, wants northeastern Kansas to be the epicenter of it. GEM GDPS, same situation. European, Kansas is getting obliterated. GFS, northern Kansas. So it really depends on where you are in Kansas. But if you're saying around, I'd say Wichita, Kansas, you're not going to get as much snow. Probably it's a little bit of a gray area, I would say, as of right now. But hold on 1 second. Oh. Okay.
Honestly, NAM is not showing in the latest run has heavy snowfall some of the other models have in areas.
I'm seeing pockets of 12 inches.
Well, yeah, but I'm looking at not the snow totals. Let's see. Well, most of them are in the mountains, but
yeah. Okay. All right. Sorry, just checking, making sure, just checking something. Okay, so All right, so perfect.
Also,
All right.
another thing that we should touch on is the current lake effect snow situation that's going on.
Yeah, I'll take a look at that as well. But okay, all right, we're getting some questions. We're getting some questions about. We got some questions about Kansas, Rising Sun, Ohio. That's the next one. Also, I'm getting a lot of questions about St. Louis as well, understandably so, and Kansas City. So, what I'll do is I'll break it down and go from west to east and give my take on it. I'm sure these guys will give it their take on it. But overall, what we've been seeing with this whole situation is, first of all, let's start with Kansas City and then do that. Kansas City, pretty interesting. It really, in my opinion, depends on how the system develops in Colorado and New Mexico off the Rocky Mountains, and it really depends on where that sets up. It also depends on how this system will evolve once it gets there. Is it going to move a little? Is it going to wiggle a little bit more to the north? Is it going to wiggle a little bit more to the south? It's very dependent on what happens when it gets out of the Rocky Mountains, and once it starts to increase in intensity, the storm that is rather. But ultimately, ultimately National Weather Service, they have issued a watch for this, very vague. Between 4 and 13 inches, I believe, and this is for the highest amounts north of Interstate 70. So ultimately, for Kansas City in general, it's a bit vague, but at this current point, based on these current model runs right here, and granted, this is obviously going to change. Nothing is going to be set in stone. I could see the northern suburbs getting well over a foot of snow, and Kansas City proper getting anywhere from 8 to 12. That's generally my take on it. What's your guys' thoughts on it for Kansas City?
I haven't really looked at Kansas City, so give me a minute.
Yeah, I'll give you. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Are we going to use the GFS or are we going to use the GEM RDPS?
We're going to use all of them. We're going to throw it. We're going to make an aggregate out of them.
I'll start with GEM RDPS. We go into this area.
Yeah. Okay. All right. While we're waiting for that for Kansas City, now, another question emerged about St. Louis. So St. Louis, that's going to be interesting because what I and Daniel and John, who will be joining us soon, have been watching is where that rain and ice line have been are going to develop. And what I mean by that is generally what we're going to see in St. Louis is you're going to see one of two scenarios. You are either going to get a lot of snow or you are going to get some snow and some ice. Neither are good, but I'd rather take the former. Go ahead, Tony.
All right, so I'm looking at the GEM RDPS right now.
Okay.
And they're actually saying for the St. Louis area, they're going to see about an inch of snow.
The GEM RDPS at 18Z?
Yes, that is correct.
That's... Okay, the GEM RDPS, the 18Z is showing almost 9. And granted, the storm's not over yet.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the heck is going on with... Are you on COD?
Yeah, I'm on COD.
What the hell's going on with my end then? Let me try to refresh it.
Yeah, for Kansas City, though, the GEM RDPS wants over a foot of snow. So, that too. So...
All right.
Yeah.
Let me try to refresh it.
All right. While you do that, I'm going to continue to explain it. It depends on where that rain ice line forms, because the question is for this case is not, is it going to be the rain snow line? No, the rain is going to be too far to the south to really make that much of a difference, unless we see a massive shift of all of the models to the north and Chicago gets hit by that. So ultimately, the rain ice line is where this is going to be in play. And for those of you who do not know, typically what happens, and the reason you see freezing rain or sleet, is because it is cold at the surface. There's a relatively small warm layer. Depending on whether you get freezing rain, it's lower down, closer to the surface. If you're getting sleet, it's a little higher up in the atmosphere. And then it refreezes as it travels down. And that's how you get sleet and freezing rain. So ultimately, what we're seeing, the question is, where does that rain-snow line happen? Where does that inversion occur? And we could definitely experiment with this, and we could pull a few soundings, at least with some of these runs, to see how this pans out. So let's go ahead and start. I'd say let's start 0Z Sunday for around the St. Louis area. Let's say St. Louis County, just to kind of see what the upper atmosphere is going to look like. Ultimately, here's what we have: 31 degrees at the surface. You have an inversion. It is very close to that freezing line. Regardless of that, I don't think it's quite there in this, but look how saturated it gets. It gets in the upper levels right here. It's very. Yeah, it's like the dew points and temperatures are very closely aligned in the upper levels. It is a little bit of more of a struggle in the low near the surface right there. 31 degrees Fahrenheit for temperature to 9 degrees 9 degrees Fahrenheit for dew point. But as you see this happen, and let's go ahead and go to 12Z and pluck another sounding right here, and we can show you that inversion as well. A lot more saturated. And it looks like this does cross the freezing line. This is your classic sleet setup right here. When you see sounding like this, you see temperatures in the upper 20s or so, and dew points in the mid 20s, and then you see this warm area, this very small warm area, about 800 millibars up in the atmosphere, and that's what ends up melting the snow, and then after that it refreezes, it turns into ice pellets, and that's how you get sleet. So I know it's a bit of an explanation for that, but the reason I bring this up is because that rain's ice line is going to be very important. It could be the determinant of getting, say, 12 to 18 inches of snow, or getting 8 inches of snow and some ice and some ice mixed into it. Neither scenario is good, but I'd pick the 12 to 18 inches of snow because there's actually a chance you can drive on that. Ice you can't drive on. No matter how much you try, your brakes don't work because ice has no friction on it. So that's generally how that whole operation works. So ultimately, in my opinion, St. Louis is going to be more of an evolving situation. Do I see a foot of snow out of this in St. Louis? Yes. Do I see some ice being mixed into this? Yes. The question is, where does that rain ice line form? Personally, the 12, and I talked about this in the video, I saw the 12Z runs generally shifting a little bit more to the north and bringing the rain ice line further to the north and putting the entire St. Louis metro area into it at one point. I am a little bit skeptical about that. Can it happen? Yeah. But I am a little skeptical about that. Just depends on how strong that inversion is. It depends on how the synoptics will behave. It depends on the angle of the trough. It depends on so many certain areas right there. And let me go ahead and see. RJ's still here. RJ, if you can hear me, I want your opinion on this on the synoptics setup of this. Do you think this favors a bit more of a northward shift or a bit of more of a southerly shift? What's your opinion on it?
Honestly, it's once we get the 0Z, I have a better idea because watching that ridge that I mentioned earlier off the coast on the Northeast Pacific is going to be huge to see just how amplified models take that with actual observations.
Okay.
In the 0Z run.
All right.
And also checking out how the higher heights and the Newfoundland low progress over the course of the weekend as we get into the weekend.
Okay.
The icon went dramatically north, which I think might be too far north.
All right.
There is that indication that we could get a northward trend. That's why, if you look across Illinois, that there, even though where we have those winter storm watches, they could be extended farther north. But there's just so much uncertainty on where that northern extent is to be such a strong gradient.
All right.
Hey, I do have a question that's hardly ever talked about.
Okay.
What's the water ratio? What's the water ratio on the snow? Is it 10-1, or is this going to be 8-1, 6-1, 7 to
This is
one?
going to be over 10-1, I think, especially on the northern side of this with that snow. It's going to be, I think it's going to be more like a 12 or 13-1 because we're going to be quite below freezing.
All right,
It's
because
going to be
that's
pretty,
important.
yeah. So the 10-1, when you look at maps, the 10-1 ratio is probably underdoing it, but I wouldn't trust even the totals this far out because so much can still change.
I really think in St. Louis, I think there's going to be pockets where you're going to have heavier amounts. It all
Yeah.
depends up. It all depends on where these heavier snow bands set up too.
Yeah, that's gonna be the big key here. Because some modeling has taken like the heavier snow bands to the north end of that precip shield. Where so that north end, it's a drastic decrease in that gradient is really steep. Whereas so it's this so basically the entire precip shield has the same snowfall, but then like the next mile run will have that heavier band right back towards the center.
Yeah, now that I refreshed everything on COD, I got it to work. Sorry
Okay.
about that, Pat.
All right. Wonderful.
Uh,
All
you
right.
know,
Oh, go ahead, Tony.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go above the models. Most of the models are saying like 13 inches. I want to say about 16.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
there's. So I'm looking at the upper atmosphere, and that's why I asked about the uh, snowfall ratio,
Yeah.
the 10-1.
Mm-hmm.
If it's going to be 13-1, and I think RJ is correct on that of a 13-1
Yeah,
ratio.
that's what the typical
It's
Kuchera
going,
is.
I I really think it's going to be a lot more than what the models are putting out. I
Okay.
hate to say it.
That's not good. All
No,
right.
it's not. But once again, this is all depending on where that low sets up.
Absolutely. Absolutely, it does. In the meantime, though, we also have John, who finally showed up to the stream tonight. John, how are you doing?
Doing all right. How you doing?
Doing great. We got a bit of a pickle that we got ourselves in. We got a snowstorm to talk about.
Oh yes. Especially we're in the transition zone too, so it's going to be very interesting to see how the mixing performs.
Yeah, for sure. You heard what Tony said about potentially seeing more than what the models are showing. I want your take on that, and what I want your thoughts on that for the St. Louis area in general, and then we'll move on to other areas.
That is definitely possible. I mean, we're looking at maybe, like Tony said, maybe 13-1, maybe. So maybe a little bit on the higher side than what models are depicting.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. All right. And while you're here, I want your thoughts on the whole rain ice line. What's your take on it? Do you think it just depends on how it sets up, or do you see it trending a bit more south, a bit more north? What's your take on it?
As of now, generally speaking, I'm thinking north of I-70 is where you're going to get all your snow.
Okay.
And I'm talking Missouri here. And south of I-70 is where your ice and freezing rain is is going to set up.
All right. Okay.
So you're pretty much thinking like Alton above St. Louis, Alton, Edwardsville, and I think it's St. Charles, if I'm not mistaken. That runs along 70.
Yeah, St. Charles, I believe, is north of I-70.
So that's where the snow. Okay. It's so hard to predict ice because, Pat, as you know, any minor fluctuations in the upper atmosphere of temperature, it just kills the ice totals.
Yep. It gets very finicky. I should probably. Yeah, it's very finicky with
Hey,
that.
do we know if this is going to have a warm front with it?
I think a little bit of one. Okay.
Maybe to the south, I would think.
Because if that warm front pushes a little bit more northward, that's going to throw everything into chaos.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the concern is how that warm front decides to work out. because the modeling cannot figure out what it's going to do.
Okay. All right. So I just thought I'd ask about that. Okay. Wonderful.
Me over here secretly behind the scenes, just doing my casual starting of the 2025 season of Out of Context screenshot.
Yeah. Yeah, John, I just invited him in.
Who?
A good friend of mine, and I'm sure several of us here. Yeah, I invite him to speak. Hopefully he accepts. He just has to join on, and here we go. But anyway, back to this. While we're waiting. All right. So Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and look at some of the questions.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what the viewers are saying.
Yeah, I want to look at the questions right here. Oh boy. Okay, so someone asked about Ohio earlier. Let's go ahead and answer that question very quickly. You said, let's go ahead and do that. Let me go ahead and pull it up. Pull where that is in a map.
Yeah, I'm not believing the GFS on the Ohio ice totals.
Let me take a look at those. Okay, ice accumulation. Oh, is that who I think it is? Welcome, David.
It is.
Welcome to the stream.
Thank you.
All right. While we have you here, I want your take on this. I want your take on some of this whole snowstorm situation that we're dealing with in the Midwest.
I think based on the National Blenda model, I think probably about a foot or less, and ice amounts probably about 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch.
Throughout throughout the Midwest, or
Throughout the Midwest.
Why do you think that?
That's because when you have heavy amounts of freezing rain, it actually induces some latent heat release of melting of the ice. So if you have so much freezing rain and it doesn't have time to solinate, then it actually leads to some melting of the surrounding area a little bit. So I would say probably about 1/4 of an inch.
1/4 of an inch of ice.
About 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch.
Okay. What are your thoughts on the snowfall? You said less than a foot. How come?
I'm basing this off of because the GFS, if we look at the Canadian model, the Canadian's about under a foot and the Euro is under a foot. And that's in accordance with the National Blenda model, which is in general right around a foot or less. So that's what I'm forecasting right now.
Okay, I just looked at both the GEM RDPS and GEM GDPS, those runs, as well as the Euro. They both. This is on COD. This is on COD as well. They have multiple areas, especially around Kansas and northwestern Missouri, getting over a foot.
They do, David. I'm looking at it right now. They actually have that, David.
I'm not seeing it. I'm being honest.
I will agree. Some of it is like the 20-inch stuff is a bit exaggerated, but like 16 inches, that's not, in my opinion, out of the question, especially in that part of the region.
I think it comes. I was just gonna say, I think it comes down to at this point in time, with snowfall, it's so hard to predict the totals sometimes, especially with these storms not even fully developed yet.
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
Another thing
I think we need to wait. I think we need to wait a day or two.
Okay.
I really think a lot of times we have to be careful, Pat, as you know, because these lows could be a lot weaker than what the models are thinking, or they can be actually stronger.
Yeah.
And I think
Because
RJ summed it.
the national blend, I base my forecast off the national blend of models and the Euro ensemble.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And right now, let's see the ice amounts because, and actually, I wanted to show, well, not really show, but there is literally right now for central Indiana, there's like a 40 to 60% chance of one seeing at least 6 inches of snow in the central southernish ish Indiana area.
I mean, that wouldn't really surprise me.
Okay.
With a 10 to 20% chance of one seeing at least 12 inches of snowfall, like in southern Ohio, and maybe northern-ish Missouri is around a 10 to 20%. So based off of this, I don't think the snow is going to be as big of a threat as what we first thought, but for sure the ice could be an issue. Let me look at the ice amounts on the national Blenda model to see if those have gone up.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, it's in general, it's under a quarter of an inch
Okay.
on the national Blenda model south of Missouri.
Sure.
I mean, the most you get is 0.3 inches of ice, and that's if it even happens.
All right. Okay, John, what are your thoughts on all of this? You and I have been talking quite extensively about it. I want your take.
To kind of be prepared. Kind of looking at national blended models.
Hey, John, are you by your mic? I can't hear you very well.
Yeah, you're really quiet, John.
All right, hold on one second.
Okay, that was better. Just take your.
Okay. So, what I'm looking at is southeast Missouri, kind of in the beeline for significant ice. Northwest Missouri and northeast Kansas. That's kind of where you're looking at potential blizzard conditions, and I'm thinking we're going to have a little thin swath of around a foot, maybe even more than that, in northern Missouri.
Okay.
Your mixing line, or where your ice and all the mixing will happen, is definitely in the northern half of Missouri, based off models. At least this is Euro, and then let's see, GFS also shows that too, going into Iowa as well.
But I just find it interesting that all the models are way more aggressive than the National Blenda model. And I wonder if it's because the Euro does not take the accretion into account. It thinks that there will be like 3/4 of an inch to an inch of ice accumulation.
Okay. All right, that helps.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So in the meantime, we have 89 people in the chat right now. Be sure to like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you are new. The goal of this channel, as always, is to get more people engaged with weather. If you have any questions, feel free to type them into the chat.
Oh, wait, are you live on YouTube?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I never knew that. Oh my gosh.
Well, we're in the live stream stage, so I hope that helped.
I did not even know this.
That's okay.
I thought it was like just for the Discord server.
No. We do this so that way we stop people from trolling and spamming and shit. I know I just cursed. That's the only curse word that we get.
That's your one swear word.
Yep, I know. Any more times, we're gonna get demonetized. So do not encourage me.
Womp womp. Hey, listen, you got past the 8-second mark. You're fine.
Okay. In all seriousness, though, we got to talk about the storm. But
yeah,
do we, though?
For those people that are watching this live stream, I'm going with between about 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch of ice across central Missouri, southern Illinois area, because of the fact that I think the Euro and the GFS are not taking ice accretion into account.
that's fair. That's fair.
I'm thinking 1/4 to 1/2 an inch, locally higher amounts in southeast Missouri, possible. possible.
Okay.
And John, the problem with that is you're in the area where you might get some ice.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
don't need
I'm kind of in the area where I could get a little everything. To be
Yep.
honest with you.
Yeah, I know. We're not. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, can you believe what?
What's up,
Hey,
Tony?
Pat, can you believe I am actually picking up 18 to 19 to 1 ratios, snow ratios?
What using how? Using what?
Horatio?
Oh. Yeah, I know the snow ratio.
Yeah.
Don't use that. Do not use that. Do not use that. No.
What are you what are you using?
No.
This is it's Navy.
Okay.
Mm, that cool.
All right.
So
I would. I
He-
would.
David,
Mm-hmm.
hold on, David. I'm doing some math. Hold on.
All right.
Average that
big
out.
brain time.
Yeah. Tony,
Mine
while
are-
you're doing that, we're getting some questions about the Mid-Atlantic. I know Tristan's taking care of it right now, but yeah, Mid-Atlantic, we're seeing an increase of models showing quite a bit of snow, especially for
I hope
DC
that
and
helps.
Baltimore.
I did not even know this.
That's okay.
I
Yeah,
thought.
we're gonna get
Um,
demonetized, but in all
Is that-
seriousness, though, we got
Mark your
Is that what this
demonetized. So do not
Bro,
encourage
hey,
me.
come on.
system?
Hey, who has my stream on?
Hey, listen, you got past the 8-second mark. You're fine.
Who has my stream on?
Not me.
In all
Not me.
seriousness, though,
Not me.
we got to talk.
Okay, thank you. All right. Bloopers aside, we're looking at snow for a lot of Maryland, for Baltimore, for DC, for Wilmington, for areas in South Jersey. Tony, I know you're under a winter weather advisory over there in right there, at least with what's going on. At least South Jersey is, but you get the idea. Oh, and Philadelphia is under a winter weather advisory proper, so that too.
Yeah. That just actually came
Oh,
out
lovely.
that came out about an hour ago, and it's mostly for the cities of Vineland, Trenton, basically anything south of Trenton.
Yeah, total snow accumulation up to
But-
1 to 2 inches. So there's that.
Yeah, which has nothing here.
Cool.
Okay, so looking at Topeka's winter storm watch, I'm just looking at these WFOs to see what they're saying. A lot of these are very vague. I've noticed with the snowfall amounts between 4 and 11 inches for Topeka, Kansas City. It was 4 to 13 inches. St. Louis earlier, John, was ridiculous. 1 to 12 inches.
Yeah, they have
Aw.
since changed that to 6 to 12 with 1/10 to 3/10 of an inch of ice.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I hope that didn't
That,
hold.
that's a wide playing field on snowfall.
Yep. Ice accumulations between 1/10 and 3/10 of an inch possible, according to the National Weather Service. So, yeah, it's been quite the wide variety with those. So, yeah, and of course, Daniel is working his magic behind the scenes, so that's nice.
You need to show the. So stupid.
Okay, Rockets is asking me to look at the freezing line of the new 0Z Her. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at that very briefly. Not sure if I can figure out too much, but
I'd say the herd is just too far out, really.
yeah, I agree, but
To use
her-
these mid range ones.
yeah, that's
it's
for
still
sure.
too far.
Yeah, but RJ, just for the funnies, the 0Z Her has sleet and freezing rain throughout Kansas, Missouri, and Nebraska right now at 48 hours out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hard
HRRR.
pass on that one.
I think the HRRR is handling it quite well with the amount of freezing rain that starts.
Sorry, guys, I had to mute for a moment.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, around Delaware, Maryland, Philly, my neck of the woods, South Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
the most you're looking at is about 1 to 2 inches of accumulation
Okay.
for tomorrow. And this system's going to be over here by tomorrow afternoon, by the way. That's how fast this system's moving.
Wait, tomorrow? No, it's not even gonna get tomorrow. Oh, you were talking about the stuff that's happening now? No, that's
Today. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the storm. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now they are saying Monday for
Mhm.
us. Yeah, we need to watch.
Oh, absolutely, you need to watch that.
Well, anyways, I have to head out, Pat.
That's
I'm
fine.
going to church, so yeah.
You have a all right. Well, thank you, David, for joining tonight. We really appreciate that. Okay, so Tony, go ahead if you have more to say.
Yeah, they are saying this is for us on Monday is going to be a very light, fluffy snow,
Okay.
and it looks. And this is coming from the National Weather Service, by the way.
All right.
It's going to. It's setting up to be a Croatia of 18 to 1,
Oh wow.
which is very high for New Jersey, which is going to produce a lot of snow.
I'm not that surprised.
But it's going to. Yeah, neither am I. So, I'm going by what the Navy's saying on here. I really think we could actually see in the Midwest 19-20 to 1 ratios.
That could be really high. I think in the main precip year, it's just gonna be that 12 to 13 to 1. I honestly think. I just don't think it'll be quite cold enough to get that high, that far south.
Yeah, that would be interesting. If it's 19 or 20 to 1, that's you would need temperatures I would say, call me crazy, like maybe in the lower 20s, in the teens on the surface for that. Like
yeah, that even to me that seems a little too big.
Yeah,
too high.
Yeah, well, I'm going to
Hey,
check
Pat,
First of all.
What's up,
I'm
Tony?
going to send you something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to send you something.
Go ahead, send it to either DM it to me or send it in live no mic.
I'm going to put it in live stage, can't I?
There's a chat for that. If you click show chat, you can do that in there.
Yeah, I just put it there. Here's a Navy model.
All right, I'll take a look at it in a second. I need to talk. I just messaging Kaiser real quick.
I'm sorry, I got like 5 different conversations going on.
Yeah, one with David, one with Kaiser, one with Ethan, one with Daniel, one with John, one with RJ. 24 to 1. You said this is a Navy model, correct?
Yeah, this is a Navy model.
Okay. Now, granted, where is that? Where is this in Nebraska or? Yeah, it's northern Nebraska. Okay. I'm gonna check the temperature real quickly. Yeah. I'm gonna. Which model should I use? Should I use the Euro? Should I use the GFS? I'll just use all of them, honestly, just to look at the temperature, just to get an aggregate. Okay.
And I'm going to.
Okay. Yeah, I can see why we're seeing a 24 to 1 in Nebraska. Temperature of the surface is going to be like 11 if it happens there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't be. Yeah, I'm not that surprised.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Temperature. Okay, this is interesting. The temperature in St. Louis doesn't even get. It gets in the mid 20s. High temperature of 28 before that cold front moves through. And before that cold front moves through in the back end of it, and the high pressure system moves through. So, Peoria, Illinois. Okay, good question, and thank you for asking, Peoria. What's up?
I'm actually near Peoria right now on the maps.
Oh wow. Okay, fantastic. All right, here's the GM GDP. I'm gonna use the GM GDPS, the Euro, and the GFS. Peoria. The GEM GDPS 12Z wants you to get around 8. The Euro, around 9.5. The GFS, over a foot. It depends on where that storm sets up. So, yeah. What do I expect for south central Pennsylvania, Pat, out of the snowstorm? It depends on where you are in south central Pennsylvania, and it depends on the run as well. South central Pennsylvania, you could definitely see, according to all of these runs, like if you're in the western part of Pennsylvania. Now, granted, a lot of this snowfall is from today and all that stuff. You could definitely see. I could see 6 inches out of this in southern Pennsylvania, especially with these new runs. I'll have to watch. I'll have to keep an eye on it, but I could definitely see 6 inches of it. Thank you very much, Dark Steve. And shout out to all of you guys who are still in the stream. I really appreciate it. So, yeah. All right. Yeah, okay. Do we have any more questions in the chat? If so, feel free to type them. If not, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps us get more people engaged with weather. How much are we going to get in ice in southeastern Missouri? Where in southeastern... Yeah, okay. Where in southeastern Missouri? Like Cape Girardeau? Like that area, Farmington? Because it really varies on the model and it depends on the track, honestly. So, yeah. GFS, can we agree that this 1.1 inches of ice is the GFS being the GFS in southeastern Missouri?
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like the GFS on steroids.
Yeah. Okay. Patterson. Okay.
I totally agree.
Okay, Patterson. All right, thank you.
I'm not sure where Patterson is.
I know where it is. It's in the it's near the Mark Twain National Forest. I know where that is. Okay, let's take a look at it. I feel like we're overestimating the ice accumulation on this. Personally, I think we could see a third of an inch, possibly, down there. So, yeah. All right. Okay. Will we get any good amounts of snow 30 minutes west of Baltimore? We were talking a little bit about this. All the runs are wanting quite a lot of snow. Like the GEM GDPS wants, let's see, I want to just check. The GEM GDPS wants 10 inches of snow in Baltimore, European around 9, GFS around 11. There's definitely going to be some snowfall in your area right there. The problem I'm having a little problem with is just uncertainty in general. I'll continue to keep an eye on it. I'll continue to watch it for sure as the new trends continue to come on. But I want to hope to answer that question. Okay, so Columbus, Ohio is the next one. Columbus, let's take a look. What do you guys think for Columbus, Ohio? Do you think 10 to 12 inches is overdoing it, or do you think it's decent from the models? Guys?
Say the amounts again?
10 to 12 for Columbus, Ohio.
I think that's reasonable.
All right. Actually, I want to check. I think NWS hasn't gone that far east with their watches yet. Oh, they did it. Winter weather advisory. When is this I'll check when this is in effect.
That's gotta just be for overnight.
Oh yeah, this is. It is. Okay. All right. Tristan just sent something to me. NWS in that area, it says that it's unknown because of the potential warm noise around Columbus, Ohio. Yeah, I can see that. For now, wait and see in Columbus, Ohio, but the models are showing 10 to 12. Wait till tomorrow and you'll get a better idea of what happens. So that's just a little bit far out. We can't gauge it as good as we can, say, Kansas City, Missouri, St. Louis, Indianapolis, those areas. That's the unfortunate part of forecasting because storms don't form all at once in one area and dump snow uniformly. So,
and plus the actual system itself is still way off from the Pacific.
Yeah. When's it expected to come off in the Pacific Northwest?
I think tomorrow night, I believe.
All right. And
Very soon.
That's why I'm kind of looking at that ridge tomorrow, seeing how,
Yeah, for
how
sure.
amplified it is.
yeah, so RJ, if the ridge is
think
more
we'll have
amplified, what does that mean in general
If the
with
ridge
this?
in the northeast Pacific is more amplified, that would mean, so it's stronger. That would mean that our system itself is going to be slower, stronger, which then favors a more northern track from what the models are showing,
Okay.
which would indicate more so what the icon model is showing.
Yeah.
But if that ridge is not as amplified as like the icon is showing, it's going to take that more southern path where we already have those winter storm watches out.
Okay. So would a more amplified ridge mean a northern path?
Yes, yeah, a stronger and northern path.
I am praying that does
It's
not
gonna-
happen.
I don't know if I'm imagining things or if I have like confusing models, but I think the icon's kind of been a couple runs ahead of other models for some reason for once. On at least trends, at least. And it's been trending north again. The European hasn't. So I wonder if the European will trend north overnight. Or if the
Okay.
icon just kind of had when it was out to lunch today and got
Yeah.
a little too drunk.
Yeah, for sure.
It had too much drinking for the new year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that helps. So I wonder if there's a way I can see this. So the icon wants this ridge to be pretty powerful. What do the other runs say? Do they want it to be less
The
amplified?
European has the other runs still have it less amplified. The Canadian has it a little bit.
Okay.
Where we got that because it's more northern.
All right.
Yeah, the icon is it's only on pivotal weather from what I know. So
All right. All right. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Okay, I'm very curious why Peoria is not in a winter storm watch, even though the GFS Euro bring 6+ inches of snow. I'm guessing uncertainty at this current point.
yeah.
Yeah, RJ. I tried to see if Matt wanted to come on. He's jet lagged, so he's not gonna come on tonight because he would be really good to talk to about Maryland, DC, and those areas. So
Yeah. He'd be a perfect person. I don't know that geography enough to chime in.
Well, here's the problem with that. If you live over in Maryland, DC, Jersey, New York City, you know the weather is real funky here. Real funky. It's hard to predict. We literally have to wait until Sunday to figure out what's going on.
yeah, pretty much.
Or even Saturday. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's all about the track when it comes across.
Yeah, that's for
Where's
sure.
the low setting up? Where's the track going? And are we going to have the Greenland block to prevent it from hitting us?
Yeah, that's for sure. I know RJ, you've been watching that as well. I saw a couple of your Twitter posts a couple of days ago about it. What are your thoughts on the Greenland block?
I don't remember what my tweet said, but a lot of the models have it trying to dip south a bit.
Okay.
Which would push this. This is helping push this from south on top of the less amplified ridge.
Sure.
I have no meteorological reasoning. It just feels like that blocking is being modeled too strong.
Mm-hmm.
It's just my gut instinct tells me that this storm has to go a little bit.
All right. Okay.
Like now, it's like I haven't really been looking at the system as much lately because I've been looking more at the Chicago area. Because now that focus up here is on the lake effect band itself that could.
All right.
Because of this.
Yeah.
Speaking of lake effect, shall we talk about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's currently going on Erie?
Yeah, let's take a quick look at that. Oh yeah, I see that in New York. I see that in New York. Let's briefly talk about this, and then I want to go ahead and move on to another threat that I don't think a lot of people really look at in terms of this huge winter storm. I think it's being overshadowed, and that is severe weather, but the severe weather potential. But we will get to that in just a few minutes. Yeah, there's some lake effect snow going on over in New York right now. over Lake Ontario. Is there anything going on in Lake Erie though right now?
I was mistaken on that. Nothing currently, but I wouldn't be surprised if things picks up somewhat soon.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure. So, okay. All right. All right. Any news on the
I always get them
Pittsburgh
mixed
area?
up.
Yeah. Any news on the Pittsburgh area? Christmas. Christmas is on January 7th, and we have a lot of visitors coming to our church that day. That's the Orthodox Church over there in Pittsburgh. I'm going to briefly answer this, but then we'll go back to the lake effect stuff since we're in that ballpark. Pittsburgh, based on the runs, is a little bit iffy right now. I wouldn't. Let's see. The European wants you getting 2 inches of snow from this event right now, and then an extra 5 on top of that. And then you have the Gem, which is another run that we use. Wants about 7 or so for Pittsburgh with this, and then the GFS wants around 5. And I want to check very quickly. There's nothing. Okay, Pittsburgh NWS is probably going to issue a winter storm watch or winter weather advisory in the next 24 hours, so I'd stay tuned for that. But right now the models are showing anywhere from 5 to 7 inches, but stay tuned.
I'll probably wait until after the winter weather advisory expires.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But
To
anyway,
avoid any confusion.
yeah, thank you for the question. But anyway, let's go back to the lake effect.
You do not want to look and know, Mike.
Okay. All right. While I'm not looking at that, what do you want to talk about with the lake effect, Daniel?
Talking about me taking screenshots of you.
Oh my god. My god. This is a tradition right here. Okay. But in all seriousness, let's talk about the... Okay. Thanks. I guess we'll likely see a white Christmas. Haha. Yeah, you most likely will at this point. But yeah, that's Orthodox Christmas.
The one I just took is nightmare fuel.
Okay.
If we ever make a Pat's Pack Predictor horror game that is all about Sprite Cranberry, we will use that face.
Okay.
In 8-bit.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. All right. So, with all the joking aside, except for want a Sprite Cranberry, that's a legendary meme. John, I want
Sprite Cranberry.
Yeah, John. What's your John? You've been listening to all of this right now, with the amplified ridge, with the trough, all that stuff. What do you think going into this now? What do you think with all this new information that you have?
I mean, it could go either way. If this system tracks farther north, it's going to be more intense, but a more compressed area, I would say.
Okay.
But if it goes farther south, not as intense, but a more wide area.
Okay. All right. So, RJ, I want to ask a theoretical scenario here. Let's say the Greenland block is stronger than expected and the trough is more amplified coming off the Pacific Northwest. What do you think would happen to the storm? Do you think it would be a stronger storm that stays in the same track on average, or how do you think it would affect it?
Oh, which way is the Greenland block going to be stronger? Is it coming back westward towards Canada, or is it going north towards the pole? Are we talking stronger? That's the big determination.
Okay. All right.
There's a lot of intertwined questions I could ask. Fire back at you on what you want.
All right.
Let's see what the Newfoundland block.
Okay. Okay. I just figured I'd ask that just in case, but yeah.
I mean, honestly, I probably would still go a little north, but that Greenland, because that probably would be. I don't know if there's really a scenario where that happens, where the Greenland block comes back towards Canada and is stronger back towards Canada. The Newfoundland low doesn't push it north or cut it off, and the ridge is amplified. I don't see a scenario where all three of those things happen.
Okay.
It's going to be either probably one or the other.
All right. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for very much for that. Someone's asking about Gainesville, Virginia. That's, I believe, in Prince William County. That's about the snow. Basically, what I'm seeing is generally there's two ways you could go about this. If the models shift a bit more to the north, you're less likely to get snow. If the models are like the Euro and keep it around the south and more to the south, you could see more snow from it. Right now, outside of Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, because of all the fluctuations, it's too early for me to determine just how much snow you will get. Otherwise, I can say anywhere between 2 and 10 because that's what the models are showing. That doesn't sound very helpful, I know, but we have such a spread, especially in that part of Virginia. It's something you're going to have to wait and see. I'll know more tomorrow, so stay tuned for that video and I'll talk about it, but that's the quick question I have. So, well, Southern Ohio, Ganny, absolutely. How much is the question at this current point? Right now, I would expect greater than 6. So, that's just my take on that. Okay, now that all of that's out of the way, Northern Virginia, it's a little uncertain, but I'd say Fairfax County, Loudoun County, I could see a possibility where you get 6+ inches of snow, but it's a bit uncertain, so stay tuned. So anyway, I think the threat that is, in my opinion, the most overlooked out of all of this, and I want to briefly talk about this, is severe weather. Severe weather. Yes, there's a 15% risk for severe weather for Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi and other parts of the South. And this is going to be in conjunction with this storm. And I want your guys' take on this, especially the severe weather nerds who are in here. I want your take on what kind of threats we could see with this and how you think this could set up. Because in my opinion, I'm looking at this because it's situated on the front. I think it's going to be more of a wind threat. Go ahead, Daniel. Oh, hey, Weather Kingdom, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I know you've been tracking this system as much as I have. Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. What about you?
I'm doing okay. Well, we're gonna talk more about the storm in a second, but I want to talk a little bit about the severe weather first, since that's a bit overshadowed.
Yeah, I know that's a little overshadowed.
Yeah, John, Daniel, RJ, what are your thoughts?
It's a nap time for me.
Okay. All right, cool. John, have you been looking at the severe weather?
I mean, I really don't see much in terms of the severe weather, especially because the thermodynamics are not the best. But other than that, I mean, we could get a little bit of something out of that.
I think it would be more of a wind threat. I don't see any major tornado threat out of it.
I agree.
It's just how it's all dynamics and stuff.
Yeah,
I think this is more going to be an ice storm and winter storm. I mean, there's going to be severe weather, but more of a wind and probably hail threat out of it and isolated tornadoes.
Okay.
Very isolated tornadoes, at least currently.
Yeah.
Unless something dramatic changes, I don't see it pulling a tornado threat, but you never know. We've had a general thunderstorm risk produce a tornado before.
Yeah.
That's true.
The most unoptimal conditions.
All right. Yeah, that's fair. RJ, what are your thoughts? Do you think that the wind threat's going to be the greatest threat, or what are you seeing?
I mean, if this thing goes linear, there could be like spin up tornadoes, but nothing super crazy.
Okay. Just thought I'd ask. So yeah, that's what we have going on. All right, a few things right here. Okay, we have a few things in chat right now. The first question. Will Nashville, Tennessee get a brief mix at all? Let's go ahead and take a look at the track of this right here and just get a general consensus. Nashville, according to the GEM GDPS, does before you get rain. GFS no.
Rain.
Yeah, I'm thinking rain.
Pure rain. It
Tennessee most.
It really depends on how
The low.
cold it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I agree with that generally. All right. So
Some
that's,
models show the teens getting all the way down to Louisiana, and yet some others
oh yeah, that
are
Arctic
showing
blast.
it
That's because of the cold front's
being
behind the snow.
punch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So next question, bad ice for Southern Ohio. I'm gonna take a quick. I'm gonna take a quick look. Yeah, I could see you guys getting some freezing
Yeah.
rain. I could see you guys getting some freezing rain with this easily. Okay, we have over 100 people in chat right now. Thank you very much for joining tonight. Be sure to like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you are new. The goal is to get
Shameless
more people
plug.
engaged with weather. Go ahead, Daniel.
I was just gonna say shameless plug on you.
Yeah. Also, since we have a lot of new people on the stream, we have a Discord server called Storms United. We are talking about this very extensively. So be sure to join the Storms United Discord server. It's hit use copy button. I'm gonna remove that. I'm going to get the. I'm gonna.
I do have a question for you guys, and I want to see if you guys have noticed it.
Yeah, what's up?
Has anyone noticed a northern trend in the Northeast
Yeah,
with the snowfall?
yeah, I have.
Hey, Sonny, what's up?
What up?
Okay. Yeah, I've been watching it as well.
Because I live in the Northeast, and
Yeah.
I'm hoping to get some snow out of it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I do think you could definitely get some snow from it, in my opinion. Let's. Okay.
One thing I noticed with the models with the winters, the past few winters, it'll trend south and then trend back north a few days before. And I feel that's kind of one of those things. And I feel like I can see a trend into tomorrow. I mean, tonight's runs are going to be very important and tomorrow in the next few days. But I think we're going to have a little bit more of a trend north and then it's going to even out in the middle from where it started.
Okay.
Because I don't think this thing it has a ceiling of how far it can go north because of the blocking high.
Yeah.
So I think this will get a little bit more north and do expect maybe those totals to come up even a bit more north, especially like Philly. I know Philly hasn't seen a big snowstorm in quite a while, and this one can bring a good half a foot. Is that possible? Yeah, I think that's very possible.
Yeah, for sure. And meanwhile, Daniel just donated $10 to the stream. Thank you very much for donating that. We really appreciate that.
That little thing is the definition of me behind the scenes.
Yeah, I can tell. Thank you very much for the donation. We really appreciate that, and as well as any support for the Pat's Path Predictor channel and Storms United tonight. So, okay, did we ever
also
talk
don't
about...
forget about the Patreon.
Oh yeah, the Patreon. Yeah, we also have a Patreon that I need to put a little bit more work into, but hey, we're getting there. Hurricane Milton, Hurricane Milton's the first documentary you guys are gonna get whenever I finish working on that. So, yeah, okay, all right. Luke Sneed.
A lot of work.
Yep, Luke Sneed. Did we ever talk about amounts of snowfall possible in the Omaha area? I live 30 minutes south of there. Yeah, that part of Nebraska is probably... Yeah, you guys are going to get hammered by this. Easily.
You're going to get what?
Hammered. You're going to get hammered by this easily. Let's see. Yeah, Douglas County. Okay, that's the GFS.
Euro model has trended north too.
Yeah, it's...
The 18Z.
The 18Z hasn't shifted that far to the north. In fact, compared to the 12Z, it's shifted south.
Oh, I'm talking about in the Northeast.
Oh, okay.
And the Northeast part of it.
Okay, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know you and Sonny are. All right. But in all regardless, yeah, Omaha area, you're going to get hammered by this. Area south of that is going to get more snow than areas to the north of it. If you're 30 minutes to the south, I would not be surprised if you see between 8 to 12 inches of snow. That's just my opinion. So, yeah. All right. So yeah. Okay, so the Northeast, yeah. Weather Kingdom, you haven't talked too much since you've gotten here. I'm going to give the mic over to you so that way you can give your analysis since you just got here.
Check out 18Z on it.
18Z.
By the way, on the Euro. Yeah, the Euro.
I'm on there.
I can see it. Yeah.
Yep, I'm on there.
Look how much farther. See how it's even. Yeah.
Oh
Compared
yeah.
to 12Z.
Oh yeah. That's putting more of Washington D.C. and Baltimore in the line of fire, as well as New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But I
concerning.
mean, I've been watching this.
Yep.
I mean, it's not concerning if you're a snow lover,
Yeah. Are you?
but I mean, I'm a snow lover, but
Yeah.
sometimes you just have to accept it when it's just not for you. But the Northeast, especially in the Mid Atlantic, hasn't seen a big half a foot snowstorm plus. So, for this that could be happening, I think this is gonna be awesome. If
All
you're a
right.
snow lover. I mean, please drive safe and just be smart. If you don't have to go to work, don't go to work.
All
You
right.
know?
I'm laughing at something
If you could.
else behind the scenes.
I know, I
in
saw
the
it.
chat.
I saw it.
Yep.
But
and immediately it's not looking.
Hey, you got one
Mhm.
vote. All right. Sorry, Weather
Wow.
Kingdom. Go ahead.
I mean, I think out of this whole snowstorm, I think we're gonna see some more wobbles to the north and south with some of these models. Could we see another major shift north? I don't think so. I think if anything from here and on, it's gonna be little ticks to the north. But I think, I could see Philly getting quite a bit of snow. I could see Washington, D.C. I could see New Jersey, New York. I mean, hey, right now, most of the models have 1 to 3. I wouldn't try as you can get that 2 to 4, 3 to 5 inches. The ice storm out of this is a very large, impactful event. I
Mhm.
think if you ever in the ice um areas of this storm, please be careful and try and stay off the roads because you have to remember ice and sleet is two different types of ice storms. Freezing rain, it's the stuff that it's raining and it hits the surface and it turns to ice. It's really you can't really shovel freezing rain. And it's one of those things is sleet and snow, your tires can
Yeah.
get into the concrete more. And with freezing rain, it doesn't have that same luxury. So if you guys, you could say you have a truck, you could say you have chains on it, but it's still, you're going to still slide. And we've seen this ice storm after ice storm, people still try it, and then people get into accidents and a whole bunch of a mess. So I just advise you, if you guys can just stay off the roads for the ice storm, just stay indoors and prepare for even power outages because I hear and I've seen this could be a good half an inch of ice and even up to an inch in spots. So, I mean, that's the bottom take with the ice, severe weather. You know, we talked about it before. Very isolated tornadoes, more of a wind threat. And then for the snow, do your normal precautions with it. Take it slow on the roads if you have to. Try and avoid driving. And, if you're a snow lover, get out and have some fun with it. But, I know there's a lot of people that work, especially on Monday morning, Monday night. And I think we just have to really watch it in the next coming days.
Oh. Okay, that's interesting. Someone,
What?
yeah, someone in chat was talking about the NAM. It's not all the way out with the 0Z, but the 0Z NAMs, the low pressure system has shifted a little bit to the south. Not very much right now, but a little bit. It's shifted from west central Oklahoma, the center of it, to near the Texas-Oklahoma border. So that's something
You mean,
concerning.
wait, oh.
That's something concerning to watch. Now, granted, this 54 hours out, we don't know what's going to happen all the way as it heads towards the Midwest and the Mid-Atlantic, but that is a little concerning for at least in terms of snowfall. Any ice, stay the heck away from St. Louis. But
Yeah.
yeah, but anyway, Tristan put this up. Weather Kingdom has a good point. Damaging wind gusts from the lows expected as the front moves in, combined with ice, can cause trees and power lines to come down. Yeah, you absolutely made a fantastic point with for that. Shout out to for even bringing that up. So, yeah. So that's a
for
good thing
impact,
to
Pat.
bring up. So, yeah. Okay, this is interesting. I'm just checking the
What? New Nam?
new NAM as it's coming
Pat,
out. Yeah,
side quest for me. How many polls can I do in one stream?
I
My
guess.
question is, oh, sorry about
Sorry.
that.
No, you're good. You're good. Just never mind. Never mind, Daniel. Just if you want to do another one, go for it. But yeah.
It's gonna be It's gonna be depressing because I could only guess the answer.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'm just looking at this
Brace
right
for-
now.
I mean, the GFS did the same thing, that it moves more south, but it gives more snow into the northeast. So is the NAM starting to, because the NAM and the GFS position on it's pretty close.
Yeah.
So I feel like the models are just coming in more with each other, and I
Okay.
think it's possible.
Yeah. Will there be a video
we can see
tomorrow?
more snow.
Absolutely. There will absolutely be a video tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. Are you live tomorrow? Because I can see what I can do.
I might go live again tomorrow. So, yeah, based on this new evidence, and as well as we'll start getting NAM and RAP stuff taken care of, I'm considering it. So, yeah. But yeah, it looks like
I'm subscribed.
Yeah, I know you are to Daniel's stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it looks like the NAM has shifted to the south. It's not by very much. It's about by 50 or so miles. But that's the shift we need to keep the ice out of St. Louis. So there's that, John. Hopefully we can see that for the rest of the models, but still. Yeah. All right. Okay, so now that the NAM's coming out, I'm still going to be monitoring that as it continues to come in. Would it mean more snow or just less ice? It would mean more snow. It would mean more snow and less ice if that trend continues. My main concern is this shifts back up to the north again. Northeast snow with the snowstorm not happening on the models. It's happening. It's happening on it's happening this weekend and early next week. So, yeah. Yeah, okay. South shift means a better severe weather potential with more moisture and dynamics. That southern shift from the NAM makes me worried for damaging winds. Absolutely, Tristan. I completely agree with that. What are my thoughts on lake effect for Chicago? I've been watching it. It doesn't seem like, because it's too far south, it doesn't seem like it's going to be that much of a situation. But there could be a lake effect band that does form. I will say that. And if it does happen, well, you could see it if let's say if you're in Northwest Indiana, I could see you getting a couple extra inches of snow. It depends on the flow. It depends on how the storm evolves, and it depends on the wind speeds and the wind direction. And I know certain people know more than that, so yeah. Okay, cool.
Thinking about the lake effect, since I've been watching it, I kind of think like through like Evanston, Chicago, down towards the southwest suburbs in Cook County, I
Yeah.
think would be the best area for that when the band initially sets up for a quick few inches.
Okay.
Then the majority of southern Cook, and even into some of Lake County, probably towards like Maryville,
Yeah.
might miss out a bit. And then as you get towards Porter County, I think it looks like it might set up again with the flow. Like a northern shift would honestly might hurt the lake effect because you'd be getting more system snow.
Yeah.
So that might go more towards like LaPorte County or even towards South Bend into Michigan.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a win-lose. Like with the models right now, you're gonna get more lake effect, but like if there's a northern shift that happens with this storm as we get on land, it's gonna be more system snow, less lake effect, kind of evens out.
Yeah, that's for sure. So we'll have to watch that. So, okay, someone's asking about Dayton, Ohio. Dayton, let's see. I know some of the models are calling for 10 to 12 inches of snow with this, but it's too uncertain. It's too uncertain right now. We need to wait for the the winter weather in Ohio and Pennsylvania to end, and then we can get a better determination of that. So, yeah, Bowling Green, Kentucky. Okay, Bowling Green. I'm gonna try.
Pat, I'm gonna head off for the night. By the way.
All right, Daniel, that's fine. Have a good night. Thanks for coming on.
Boy.
Yep. All right, Daniel is off. Bowling Green. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. I don't think you're going to see that much snow, but let's look at the freezing rain with this. And Bowling Green, I should know where this is at because of the tornadoes back in. Oh yeah, it's in southern Kentucky. You're not going to see much unless you see a more southward shift. You're not going to see much. So that's what I'm seeing from it. Well, Delmarva sees snow at this point. The Delmarva Peninsula. It's a little too early to determine, but I will say in the northern parts of Delmarva, like in Delaware, like near Wilmington, I could see that happening. But in the southern parts, you're likely going to get rain or mixed precipitation. So that's just my take. Okay, and John is left as well. So, all right.
I'm still here.
All right, cool. All right, so Weather Kingdom. Yeah, I know you were talking about the snowstorm happening, and you're giving your thoughts on that. Do you think it's too early to determine how much snow is going to fall in like areas like Pennsylvania, Maryland, or do you think we could get a general idea about now?
I think it's a little bit too early, and I think we just have to let tomorrow's Clipper system to go through. And I think we need a little bit more time to seal the deal with the positioning too. But I mean, I say it's just a little bit too early to tell by the snowfall totals right now. Give it another day or two.
All right.
And then we can, really start looking into individual counties, and you guys can look into your counties too.
Perfect. All right. All right. Thank you very much for that, Weather Kingdom.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Hey, guys, in the chat, go ahead and subscribe to him. He has 190 subs. If we can get him to 200 tonight, he would be really happy about that. He's been covering this as well as other winter weather stuff as well. So go ahead and subscribe to him. He's been a great friend of mine. He's been a great person at Storms United. He's been tracking the tropics, been tracking the winter weather stuff when I'm not there and I'm taking my long breaks because of school. So yeah, he's been picking up the slack for me. So go ahead and subscribe to him. Let's get him up to 200 subs tonight. I think you'd really appreciate that. So with that being said, though, yeah, overall, this is a very concerning situation for me. For three
Someone said,
yep. Let's go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm just looking at some questions.
Go ahead and take a look at those.
Will the Delmaras, that's Delaware area, Maryland,
I already answered
see
that.
some snow? Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's another one. What are your thoughts around the trend for Peoria, Illinois, and a northern trend? ?
Okay, this is interesting.
So where's that at?
Peoria.
What part of?
Yeah, Peoria's.
Peoria, yeah.
Yeah, I know where Peoria is.
If you want to take that.
Yeah, I took a look at Peoria. Someone asked about that earlier. I'm thinking right now, based on the modeling, they were like 7 to 10 inches or something like that. Right now, I would. It's a bit uncertain, but I could definitely see a scenario where 6 inches is possible there. But most of it's gonna be between Peoria and St. Louis. The most of it.
Are you looking at the NAM model, by the way?
Yeah, I'm watching
someone
it.
asked.
Yeah, I'm watching it. I am a bit concerned because what I'm seeing with the NAM, the low is a bit weaker and it's a bit more elongated, and right now, it's a little difficult. The low is shifted much more to the south, but
interesting.
Yeah, but the rain snow line hasn't exactly shifted that much in
You
comparison.
know,
I'm not
yeah,
again, I'm a little skeptical of the NAM's
about the
run.
NAM.
I'm skeptical of it, obviously. So,
Yeah, I can back you up on that because an old friend of mine that I usually watch said something about the NAM Model 2.
mhm.
When it's 4 days out at its fullest, like when it's just storms starting to get into it, you kind of have to give it a day to understand the storm system
Sure.
because if you look at the last few runs on the NAM with it starting to come in, it's been all over the place, I feel, than compared to other models. And, I think we just have to give the NAM, tomorrow with the NAM being more in the mid range,
Yeah.
then I think it will be a better understanding for the NAM because the NAM changes a lot.
Oh,
So,
absolutely it does.
someone always told me don't look at the NAM when the storm is just getting into the picture because it's all over the place and is trying to understand it.
For
That's
sure.
what an old friend of mine said.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. What about wintry mix in southwest Missouri, the Springfield area? Ooh, that's a bit tough. I'm going to take a look at the GFS real quickly and then extrapolate from there. I think what you're going to see is, yeah, you're going to see rain, and then it's going to transition to snow right at the end. And that's going to be the stuff you have. So, all right, so that's that. Boone, North Carolina, you guys are going to get rain from this system. Jane, Missouri, ice or snow line? Where is Jane? I don't remember where that is. Oh, that's in southwestern. Oh, that's on the border of Yeah, it's on the border of Arkansas. It's in extreme southwest Missouri. Mostly rain, maybe some snow at the end of it. That's what I'm thinking. But come back to me later when we get more data. So yeah, the thing that sucks is when with winter storms like 3 to 4 days out, you don't
interesting.
you don't have that much data compared to hurricane season where you have all this data and you can figure it out. But with winter weather and severe storms, it's not nearly as robust, and that's a bit of a downside.
Hey, Pat,
Yeah, what's up?
I have a good question for you. With the NAM
Hmm?
in the Northeast too, because now it's about 81 hours out.
Sure.
Tell me why the 12Z has the low further north, but that snow line not getting as far north, and then the 0Z run has the low farther south, but the snow line gets way farther north.
I think
How
the
does that
NAM
make sense?
I think the NAM is overdoing a few things. Either that or this whole system is not fantastically I don't I want to see how this initializes. I personally do not think the NAM initialized very well with this. Based on
Me either. I mean, yeah.
It's going to take time for sure, but I don't think the
Because at
NAM
84
initialized.
hours out, the snow line is all the way up to New York City and then
Yep.
up to the near the PA border.
Mhm.
You get that moderate snow into Philadelphia and parts of southern northern Maryland, southern New Jersey were the heaviest.
Yeah.
That's how I can see this. And then probably the snow line will make it up to the New York and Pennsylvania border.
Mhm.
That's the farthest it will go. And then you see that sleet line and then a
Yeah.
freezing rain.
Yeah, for
I mean, I
sure.
can see, I mean, it's weird how it's weird with the timing too, because I feel like it pushes it back. But I'm wondering if, with the time being pushed a few hours back, is that helping the snow trend for the Northeast to go up? I'm wondering
Yeah.
if that's helping.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to keep watching it. Okay, so
Yeah.
will Shreveport see any snow? No. It's way too far south.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. You're in Ellicott
It's a
City
bit.
if that helps. World Zero Guide. How long have you been in Ellicott City? Because I know in 2016 and 2018 you had some really bad floods over there. Ethan and I talk about those quite a bit. In Ellicott City, Maryland, outside of Baltimore. Yeah, I know where that is. Okay, so how much snow will Cincinnati get? Let's take a look for Cincinnati.
Yeah, I have even looked.
Yeah. I'm looking at the NAM.
Sure, take a look at it.
I'm taking a look at it mainly because no. I don't trust this I don't trust the run with this. It's I'm going to wait a day for the NAM to do that. In terms of Cincinnati though, let's take a look at Cincy. By the way, if you're in Cincy, hope the Bengals beat the Steelers on Sunday. Hope you guys make it to the playoffs. But what?
Are the Bengals doing good off track this
They're
year?
8-8. They're 8-8 right now. But anyway, Cincinnati, the GFS wants 9 inches of snow. Euro wants 13. And the GEM GDPS wants you at 12. The GEM RDPS is a little bit more conservative. Once you're on 8, hopefully that helps. So, yeah. All right. Okay. Okay. I got a flight at 9 a.m. out of Baltimore. Baltimore on Monday or when?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I'm sure Tristan will take care of. I'm sure Tristan will take care of that. Icon's coming out on Pivotal. Let's see if this continues the northern trend or goes back south. Yeah, I'll check Pivotal.
Actually, the Icon has it the furthest to the north.
Really?
With the northeast. Yeah, the Icon is the furthest to the north with the northeast on 18Z. And the 12. It's been a trend on the Icon.
Okay, yeah. I want to see what the 0Z does, though, because that takes into account surface obs. So, yeah. 9 a.m. Baltimore on Monday. Okay, Monday, let's that helps a little bit. Let's see, precip. Yeah, that's likely going to get delayed. That's likely going to get delayed if these runs hold. Because you're supposed to get snow starting on Sunday night. So, yeah, but Icon, we only have 6 hours out from it, so we'll see how it develops.
On Pivotal?
On Pivotal, yeah.
Yeah, Pivotal.
Yeah. Okay, Okay, fantastic.
Remember, the 0Z runs is new, fresh data put into the models.
Yeah.
So we'll see if the trend continues or it holds or maybe it goes back south. But right now, I think it might continue that northern trend. I have a gut feeling it might continue, or they'll all hold on with the same thinking with that northern trend and slow down with it. I don't think they're gonna go south. If anything, maybe just 50 to 100. I'd say just 50 miles at most. I don't think we're gonna see a big southern shift on us.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, so yeah, alrighty then. So what I will say is we know a lot more about what may happen in the Midwest than we know
Than the Northeast.
in the Mid-Atlantic for that matter. Yeah, the Icon's coming in. I'll watch it, see if see compared to the 12 and 18Z if it shifts further to the south. But we'll have to pay attention to it. The NAM has already shifted it further to the south, but I think it's having issues with the rain-snow line and indications of where that inversion is. That's why I think it's having trouble with. So we'll see what happens when we as it gets closer. Normally the NAM does pretty good. Do I see anything happening with Tulsa, Oklahoma with this storm? Or maybe the one that has the Euro passing in the 14th. That's the one on the 14th is way too far out. But with this storm, let's take a quick look. for Tulsa, Oklahoma. Right now, what I'm seeing, you're going to get rain. You're going to get rain from this. That's what I'm seeing with it. You're going to be south of the rain snow line. So that's just what I'm seeing. So I thought I'd help you out with that. All right, so still only 6 hours of the icon is out. That's interesting. Okay. Well,
On what? Okay, yeah.
pivotal, yeah.
For some reason, icon takes a while. I don't get it. And then sometimes icon like throws like 100 hours at you at once.
Yeah, for sure. I hope.
So
Yeah, I hope it can dump that sooner rather than later. Do I see Erie, Kansas getting anything? Where is Erie,
What?
Kansas? I can extrapolate once I see that. Okay, Erie. You're in southeastern Kansas. Interesting. It's going to depend on how this storm shifts. Right now, the 18Z GFS has you guys at 1 to 2 inches of snow. But I would watch very closely because a shift of 50 miles can mean the difference between 1 inch and 6 inches. So right now, too early. Wait and see. It's not as kind of compact as Kansas City or St. Louis is. And even then, that's a bit out of the air. So
has the ice trended up? Do you know? Because I haven't looked at the 18Z's ice accumulations compared to the 12Z.
the ice accumulation.
Yeah. I haven't looked since earlier today.
Okay. All right.
I'm just making sure it's no big jump or decrease or anything like that.
Yeah, okay. All right. This was... All right. Thank you very much. All right. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much for that, Tristan. I see it. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up since these are the key messages. And this is very important stuff. Major winter storm to produce hazardous snow and ice from the Central Plains to the Mid-Atlantic. Winter storm potential increasing. There is growing confidence that a storm will produce significant wintry weather beginning later this week. Impacts will begin in the Central Plains by late Saturday, the Ohio and Tennessee valleys on Sunday, and the Mid-Atlantic region Sunday night into Monday. Severe travel disruptions are expected. Widespread heavy snow possible. In areas in the Central Plains and Central Mississippi Valley, especially along and north of I-70, the I-70 corridor, folks, are likely to experience heavy snowfall with high chances of 60 to 90% for at least 6 inches of snow. Significant icing potential in the Mid-South. Significant sleet and freezing rain is anticipated from eastern Kansas to the Ozarks, extending eastward into Tennessee and the lower Tennessee and Ohio valleys this weekend. Icing is likely along parts of the southern Appalachians on Sunday into Sunday night. Treacherous travel conditions are expected, with power outages likely in areas that receive over 1/4 of an inch of ice accumulation. Additional forecast changes unanticipated. Uncertainty remains regarding the timing and location of the storm track, which will be important in determining where the most significant impacts transpire. Stay tuned and stay updated with the latest forecasts as the storm develops. Thank you very much for that. That is a bit concerning. Okay, yeah, and also John's sending me some stuff privately. He thinks freezing rain's now more likely for St. Louis. We're going to have to see. I know the NAM's going to be the NAM, personally, but I can definitely see that. He's thinking, personally, 5 to 10 inches of snow, thinking 0.2 to 0.4 inches of ice, so that's what we have right there. Okay, Brandon Caldwell asks, how much snow in Indianapolis? Indianapolis is going to be in the line of fire from this for this storm. Now, how much snow we can talk about right now. The GFS wants Indianapolis getting 17 inches of snow. That's a bit much. The Euro is a bit more conservative. It wants around 10 or so. The GEM GDPS around 10. I think, personally, I'm thinking 10 to 12 right now, unless we see an escalation of the snowfall. JW asks, how much snow in Maryland? A bit uncertain, but if you're in DC and Baltimore, I could definitely see 6 to 10 inches possible. How much snow in Annapolis? My college is there, and it starts again on the 6th. Well, let's take a look. There's a possibility you might not start college on the 6th. I'm going to tell you that right now. Yeah, Annapolis, which is in Anne Arundel County, 8 inches of snow according to the GEM GDPS, about 10 from the Euro, about 9 from the GFS. Let's just say you're likely not going to go to school for a couple of days. I'm just going to put it that way. But, yeah. In all seriousness, no, watch the local advisories. Don't take my stuff at face value. When will the next update on the models be out? The NAM's already out. The Icon, okay, 24 hours is out. Interesting. It's going to come out in the next 2 to 3 hours, I will say. GFS doesn't start rendering until about, I think, 9:30 or 10 Central Time. So, yeah. DC is expecting a winter storm watch. Have they posted it on Twitter, Tristan, or have they, or are they waiting for more data? Because if we can extrapolate that, that would be brilliant. So, yeah.
By the way, Pat, I might be going soon.
That's
Because
fine.
after you...
That's fine. I'm going to answer a few more questions, and then I might close out here.
Okay, so I'll just wait until the stream is over. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. The Weather Prediction Center has an 80% chance of watching in DC in Washington D.C. So that's likely going to happen. I am close to Evansville, Indiana. Do you think there is any way it shifts a little south and I get that heavy snow? Yeah, I definitely could see.
Oh, Evansville, Indiana.
Mhm.
I see.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's where my brother is.
Yeah. Evansville. Okay. Yeah. Evansville. Right now, let's see. It's going to be close. It's going to be close, but I don't think it's going to shift that far for you to get like a foot of snow. I think at the most you could see 4 to 6, personally, at this point, unless we see a massive.
Agree.
Yeah, unless we see a massive shift to the south by all the runs, which personally I'm hoping that's the case because of ice. But yeah. Okay, 30 miles to the north of Evansville, that makes it a little easier to dissect.
You have to think about it too. You don't want the ice to go any further south either.
No, you don't.
Because the further south you go, the less equipped they are for winter weather.
That is true, but the further north the ice goes, the more populated areas it goes into. So it's pretty much like Odysseus, the rock in the hard place. It's like the trolley situation in physics.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, so we have that. Evansville, I still think 30 miles north. You could see 6 at most. That's my personal opinion. Other than that, it's a little hard to tell. Be sure to like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you are new. The goal is to get more people engaged with weather, and we will be continuing to watch this storm as more information continues to come out. Yeah. Okay, so there's some agreement that they think there's going to be a shift about, I'd say, 20 miles to the south. Yeah, I could see that. It's going to be close for me. I'm right between a lot of snow and a lot of ice. A lot of people like you are between a lot of snow and a lot of ice. I know several people in Storms United, including John, is. So I can definitely relate to that quite a bit. So there's that. So that's the situation that we have right now. Okay, so
is the Icon out yet?
Okay, Theodore Johnson. Oh, one of our members. He finally came in clutch. What do you think about the snow totals in the St. Louis metro area? Right now, it's very difficult. If you are in the northern St. Louis metro area, I think you could definitely see over a foot of snow from this. If you're in the southern metro area, it gets a lot dicier because of the ice. But but I think, generally speaking, right now, if you want to see a foot of snow, I'd say live Madison County north right now. Based on this, I don't trust a lot of these runs with how far they've shifted to the north personally, right now. I think there's going to be a bit of a southward shift, especially as we get more data and these models continue to zero in. Do I think any time frames of one of the accumulations? Do I have any time frame of when they should happen in for Gainesville? Let's take a look of when that could be a possibility. I'll use the euro for that as well. I think it's going to start. It's going to start Sunday evening, and then it's not going to stop until Monday evening. So it's going to be a 24-hour window. So the website I'm using right now is the College of DuPage website. So yeah,
Very good website.
Yeah, it's a very good website. We use it a lot in college for forecasting. So I figured I'd pull it out
Really,
here.
you guys do?
Yeah, we do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do.
I did not. I mean, I always wonder the name behind it.
Yeah, College of DuPage. It's from College of DuPage. It's the school meteorology school outside of Chicago, and yeah, and they've been operating this website. So it's great to have this. So yeah, made my life a lot easier with this. But anyway, okay. So I feel like we got a lot of stuff covered. Weather Kingdom, what are your final thoughts with this system?
What I think with the system, once again, we have to watch the tracks with the movement further north and south. If you guys are in in an ice area, please be careful. You guys prepare like it's it may, if you guys are getting even a little bit of ice, please prepare, because it's going to, with the winds, with the trees on top of power lines, any branch could snap those power lines. You guys could lose power, and it's going to be pretty cold too. I mean, I do have a question for you, Pat, before we
Sure.
close out.
Mm-hmm.
What's the temperatures with the freezing rain?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
because it really depends too. Because if it's in the upper 20s while it's freezing rain, that's extremely bad.
That's
Like, what are the
really bad,
temperatures?
actually. From what I'm seeing, it's going to be around in the upper 20s during the freezing rain, and you're going to have an inversion that gets to that gets into about 34 degrees Fahrenheit. So,
100%. Yep.
hey, Brendan, what's up?
Hey, Brandon.
How's it going, guys?
We're streaming
Hello,
right
hello.
now.
Pretty good.
We're streaming, so you joined on the stream. What's your take on this winter weather we have?
Yeah. Listen, I mean, for lack of being prepared, I will say that winter's back.
Yep.
It really is. I mean, look, just the last couple of years in the Midwest, has been just very lackluster, whether it's been El Nino or even La Nina, those first few years coming out of COVID. It's just been rather quiet, and seeing this significant system make its way, what will eventually be eastern Missouri, south central Illinois, and then eventually in Indiana, is certainly anomalous for the area. But also considering the last couple of years, it seems like central Illinois relative to Chicago has just been getting more activity with snow. So we're seeing more of a return of the normal, right?
Winter. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So look, I think that this will certainly be. I'm sorry.
Especially in the Northeast, a bit in the Mid Atlantic.
Oh yeah, and that's a whole nother even storyline in of itself.
Yeah.
But, no, I think certainly this is going to be a pretty significant system, and Pat, I'm sure you've already underscored a lot of that, so I'll save my diatribe on that. But I think for folks, especially in southern and central Illinois, and if you're going to be traveling, especially on 55, Interstate 57, 74, 70, any one of those four interstates coming from Indianapolis or Paducah, St. Louis, I would highly suggest you leave and get home to wherever you need to go prior to Sunday. If we know anything about central and southern Illinois, these interstates are an open land, right? We don't have a lot of trees. It's pretty much farm country, a lot of ag. So there's going to be a lot of blowing and drifting snow. And by the way, it does not take much strong winds to have blowing or drifting snow when you're out in open areas. So highly suggest for those folks that are going to be traveling through central or southern Illinois, especially if you're coming back from the New Year's holiday, try to get out ahead of it, because it's not going to be fun to drive through. It's going to be quite dangerous.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that. So your advice would be to travel before the storm hits.
Precisely. I would strongly, if you're looking to head back home over the weekend and you were going to be leaving on Sunday, try to leave Saturday. And by the way, I say that from a person who's going to be traveling myself. I'm currently based out here in Chicago visiting family. I reside in central Illinois in the Illinois Valley. So I'm going to be trying to get out ahead of it. I'll be probably leaving around Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening.
I'm trying to
really deteriorate that Sunday morning.
Yeah, I'm going back to school this weekend. I'm trying to figure out. I'm obviously not going to say exactly where I'm at, but I'm going to be hit.
You got to cut across central Illinois, don't you?
Yeah, I do. So.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
If you're able to leave early, highly suggest it.
I'm
gonna
do my best
this,
to.
Pat. I don't have to tell you. I mean, you're a meteorologist yourself, but also the area, right? I'm a hopscotch away from St. Louis myself, ish area, Missouri. We'll call it St. Louis, right? Generally speaking.
Yeah.
But it's you know how it is. People got to get ahead of it. And so it's a lot different in Chicago too, right?
Yep.
When we're talking about snowstorms up there, we got a lot of interstates and they usually take pretty good care of the roads.
Yep.
Central Illinois, when you get out to the farm country, it's a little bit different. It gets pretty dicey on those gridded roads and interstates. So be very, very careful if you're having to travel. And I highly suggest not to for those folks that are having to, whether you're going through St. Louis, you got to go through Central Illinois, try to avoid that at all costs because weather conditions are expected to deteriorate by the time we get to Sunday morning.
Yeah, that's for
exactly.
Sure. That's for sure. And we'll have to figure that out from there. But thank you very much for coming on, Brendan. We really appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Brendan, our general manager from Storms United, coming on the show.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, coming on the show.
Of course, yeah, pleasure. You guys take care.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give my thoughts on this. Right now, we have a general idea of what's going on. We don't have specifics. That's the problem. And that's the sad reality of a lot of these snowstorms. Yes, we can give you general ideas of what's going to happen, but when you're on that rain-ice line, you need specifics. And as a forecaster, you need to look at, okay, what's the temperature going to be? What's it going to be in the upper levels? And how bad is this going to be? That's my main concern about it. And that's my main concern for St. Louis. And the reason I'm harping on St. Louis so much is not just because of some unforeseen bias that I have. It's because they're in that snow ice line. And a 30-mile shift to the south could determine pretty much how bad this system could be there. Whether it's 12 to 18 inches of snow, which I think is an absolute possibility. I will be on record to say that is an absolute possibility as of Thursday, January 2nd, 2025 at 9:05 p.m. Central Time. I am going to be on record to say that. I think it is possible.
By the way, the new icon has trended south.
Apparently way south.
Way south, exactly. So I want to see how the 0 run of the icon.
That is way
I know.
south.
But I was looking at the trends with the Northeast and with the low moving more south out in central U.S., the snow for the Northeast has been moving further north. So I want to see how this major trend south looks with the Northeast too.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Because I'm very interested and it looks more deepened.
Yeah, it definitely looks more deepened, that's for sure. The main question I have, though, is, I think at this current point, it's going to start off in St. Louis as freezing rain, and then it's going to transition to snow. Actually, no, maybe not. It's going to probably start out as snow. The icon is cutting it close right now. What's going on? We're giving our final thoughts / looking at the icon. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Watch out for severe weather. Yeah, I am very concerned about that as well. That's not talked about enough. But anyway, my thoughts are right now, yeah, I can definitely see an enhanced Tristan myself. My thoughts are we need to watch this. We need to watch this very, very closely. And yeah, it's shifts like these This is the second model that has shifted to the south. The NAM was the first, now it's the Icon. Now, granted, I don't
Very
like
interested.
the NAM personally because of just how far out it is, and I don't like the amount of freezing rain it's generating with it compared to snow. I'm not a massive fan of it. I'm not a massive fan of the storm at all because this is no longer a rain-snow line. This is a rain-ice line for a lot of people. And
Rain ice line and then the snow line, yeah.
Yep, that's for sure. So
I
ultimately,
think the biggest yeah.
go ahead.
I was about to say the biggest thing out of this storm so far is gonna be the ice. I think, we can, people, you guys can deal with the snow. Snow is easier to deal with, less power outages, but ice, it's not a lot you can prepare for with it. And
Yeah.
it's not a lot you can do with ice. Once ice starts accumulating, it's really nothing you can do, especially on those trees.
Yeah.
You can try and whack off the lower end of your trees, like those pine trees. If you guys have pine trees,
Mhm.
those things snap like nothing. Because I remember a few years ago, we had like over half an inch of ice, and oh my god, the
Yeah.
Icon, damn.
Yeah.
But let
Yeah,
me
the
get
Icon I'm watching.
okay.
The Icon is also slower as well.
Is it? Yeah.
Yes.
And it has more of that back end heavier snow too.
Yeah.
That back end, and it's further north too.
Oh, yeah.
You see that?
No, it's
how it's more north.
compared to the 12Z, it's further south. It's further south and it's further west.
That's the 18Z, right? Go back. Oh, okay.
It's the 12Z.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Someone just
We'll
got
see.
in. Give a quick recap of how the storm's looking. Generally, what we have. Generally, what's going on? Going on. We don't know everything yet, but we're noticing some shifts in the to the south from the models, and with the Icon, and also with the other models, we're also noticing with the storm slowing down more.
Slower.
It's going to be a slower storm as well, and that could mean
And that
more
means
snow
more ice.
and heavier ice. Absolutely, yeah, and that could also
And
give a better environment for severe weather. So.
yeah,
who's
and
gonna be
like
affected?
I said,
Yeah, who's going to be affected when? Kansas City, I would say Sunday afternoon. St. Louis, not Sunday afternoon, Saturday afternoon. St. Louis, Saturday night into early in overnight Sunday. Washington D.C. Sunday night. Areas around there, areas in between, starting Sunday afternoon. But ultimately, okay, the 70. Oh yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that is way slower than the 12Z. That is way slower. Northwest
but look
Kentucky.
at how much more deepened it is, though.
Yeah, it's about the same strength, but the precip
heavier
is
snow.
there's heavier precip with this.
Exactly.
Okay, that is a problem. So, yeah. All right. Zoom on DC and okay, I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in on this real quick. Oh, I'm a doofus. I need regional.
Like I was saying too, as you do that is those pine trees. Like I said, a few years ago, I had the ice storm, and those pine trees with just even a slight less than a quarter of an inch of ice on those pine trees, any type of pine trees, those branches snap like nothing. Because I remember one year I lost branches left and right all around the property and all over the township. And it was so many, it looked like a tornado hit right across the entire county because of the ice storm.
Yeah.
Because we are very known in the Northeast to have pine trees. So if you guys have a lot of pine trees, please make sure there's nothing too close to the houses because those pine tree branches snap with even wet snow too. So that's just another big thing.
Yeah, that's for sure.
About those.
Yeah, I'm looking at
okay,
this.
new icon.
Yeah, okay, newest frame is in. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, let's look at St. Louis with the Kuchera. Okay, that's total snowfall. Okay, it's okay. Yeah, that rain snow line is very close. It's gonna be determinant on what happens. So yeah, Northwest Kentucky. I know someone's asking about that, and okay, and then after that,
Northeast further north. The Northeast looks pretty north,
okay,
and
that's
it's stronger.
That's interesting. Yeah, the low is stronger
It's
too.
stronger and further north.
Okay, so Northwest Kentucky. If you look at the icon, it looks like you're gonna start getting ice on Saturday. Looks like when is okay. Oh, this is initialized. It looks like you're gonna start getting it around, I'd say noonish, 1 o'clock or so Eastern time in northwestern Kentucky. That's what I'm noticing. So yeah, all right. Let's go ahead.
But I do.
Let's shift.
Yeah.
Let's quickly take a look at this over here. Oh yeah, it's definitely bringing in more. No, yeah, in Paducah. Yeah, in Paducah. Yeah, you're probably gonna get some ice from this, most likely. So, yeah. All right, so
And that means the coastal low will be stronger too with the Northeast. That means more of a heavier snow band too.
oh, absolutely, yeah.
Because it's going to be a Miller B's are known for that.
Yep,
Where it crosses. Yep.
I see that. Yeah. Okay, the RD.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, these runs are coming out in rapid succession. Yeah, Gem RDPS isn't out yet. Is it on Pivotal? I'll check that real quick. Gem RDP. That's the GDPS. Oh, it is. Oh, it is.
What?
The Gem RDPS is almost out on Pivotal. I gotta see.
Good.
I gotta see this. Yeah. Okay, this is interesting. Compare that to the 12Z. It's further south.
Wait, where is the model? I want to see it.
It's on Pivotal.
Okay, I'm watching your screen too.
Yeah, it's further south. And also...
Interesting.
Yeah, it's further south. This is the 5th at 18Z. Okay. Okay, so it starts out as snow. It starts out as snow. Oh, that freezing rain line is very close to St. Louis still. Compare that to the 12Z RDPS. It's further south. Every single one of these runs are shifting further south. Like, it's not... I know it's one model run, but we're seeing a trend among all the runs with the icon, with the Gem RDPS, and the NAM that are shifting this further to the south. Oh, that's... Yeah, I'm guessing Tristan's talking about DC. Okay, 72 hours out. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it looks like... Yeah. It looks like that rain ice line is going to be very close to St. Louis, but I think it's going to be just south of that with this run. That's good. Okay, that's interesting. But we'll have to see how
wow,
this
the icon brings heavier snowfall amounts too.
Let me see this. Oh, the
It brings heavier snowfall amounts in the Northeast, yeah. Especially in the Northeast.
Okay, let me take a look at this. Total snow.
I mean, my area, good like 3 to 5 inches.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, we're still seeing a massive swath of snow. Like, that's insane. Like, almost a foot of snow in Baltimore. Again, that
would be great.
That's one run. Take it with a grain of salt. I'll keep you updated. But let me zoom in on this real quick. I'm gonna just zoom in on this run real quickly, and then I'm gonna close it down. But okay, that is interesting.
Yeah, I know.
And now, granted, this isn't fully done yet, and we still have quite a bit left to go. But yeah,
like Philadelphia will get a foot of snow. That would be if you're a Philly snow lover,
yeah,
your dream has been answered.
That's for sure. But okay, this is the Gem RDPS. I'll look at the icon again.
we ending this soon, by the way?
What?
Is this ending soon?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it looks like that area is going to get around 5 inches of snow, AMP clips. Thank you for checking it out, though. But yeah, generally, it's about what I expected, actually. I expected the runs to shift a bit further to the south. They did. I'm not necessarily that surprised about it, primarily because I've been noticing this with the 0 and 12Z runs. The 12Z runs are generally further to the north, 0Z runs are generally further to the south. That's pretty interesting. But another thing I will say is the models are zeroing in on this. So we're going to have to pay very close attention to it. But my point...
Whoa.
What?
I did not notice that was that far. That thing really slowed down on the icon. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Now looking at it, it jumped over like 150 miles slower.
Yeah. Yeah.
Almost a whole entire state.
Yeah, it's way slower. But yeah, I'm just checking this last thing and then... Okay. Yeah. And this isn't even over just yet. This isn't even over, I don't think. Let me take a look at the surface and the precip type. Yeah, it's not quite over still. But yeah, we're getting a general idea of what's going to be happening. So, overall, it's a situation where we're going to it's overall a situation we're going to have to pay very close attention to. The ice is my main concern at this point. Not because of, how much or anything, but where instead of a rain snow line, we have a rain ice line. And that is a phenomenon you don't often see. And what I will say is you got to prepare, you got to be ready to go, and you got to be weather aware. And we will continue to update you with that here on the Pat's Path Predictor channel as more data and information continue to come in. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and close the stream out right now. It's been 2 hours. I've been streaming. I feel like we covered everything. If there's more information, you'll know in tomorrow's video when I put it out. But thank you for joining tonight. I really enjoyed doing this once again for the first time in like 3 months, so I appreciate it.
Thank you, and I will make a video too tomorrow.
Yep, that's for sure.
I'll
check out
make
Weather
another
Kingdom.
update.
Yeah, check out Weather Kingdom for sure. His channel is in the chat. It's in the pinned. It's the pinned chat actually. Go subscribe to him. Let's see if we can get him to 200 subscribers tonight. We are 6 away. Last I checked. So let's get him 6 more subs. That would be really appreciated. I'm sure you would really appreciate that. And yeah, be sure to like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you are new. The goal, as always, is to get more people engaged with weather. If you want to come hang out with us, join the Storms United Discord server. It's in the link. It's in a link in the description down below. Shout out to Daniel as an official sponsor of the Pat's Path Predictor channel. If you want to support the channel directly as well as the projects I'm doing, like documentaries and stuff, be sure to join my Patreon. It's the first link in the description down below. But with that being said, have a wonderful day, guys. Stay safe.
Yeah, have a wonderful day. Bye.
Peace out, everybody.